What's going on, guys? Cameron here, Jacob right next to me. Welcome back to Slashers and Superheroes. This is a little bit different. We're doing a little bit of some Marvel news, some unfortunate Marvel news, and it's big too. It's pretty big. And if have been living under a rock and you just saw and you've seen the title of this video and you know what we're going to talk about, then the stakes that are on, happening currently. Before we, talk about everything, links, follow us below, links up top as well. Like and subscribe, the usual. So, breaking news coming out of the Marvel Universe happens like around lunchtime today. It is currently 12:42 at night. We like to record at night. I don't know why. We're just night owls, I guess. Jonathan Majors is out of Marvel. He is no longer Kang because he has been indicted by a New York court system for, I think it was assault and harassment, and he's going to be in jail for about a year. So now we can talk about legalities. We can talk about the legal process, but I'm no lawyer. I don't know what's going on in that realm. So,
lucky for you, I am. So let's get into it.
yeah, pulls out a law book out of his pocket. So it says here in section 12.1a. No, but yeah. So we really don't know. Like, I know there was like a video that spread it around of what Majors was indicted for, but we really don't know anything other than that. We don't know what's going on.
I don't think we ever will, to be honest.
We won't.
I don't think we'll ever get the full story.
We won't. So
it's one of those weird, controversial things.
Yeah. So we're not here to really talk about the legal side. We're just here to talk about what this is gonna, what this means for the MCU and where we're gonna go from here. So, yeah. So Jonathan Majors is gone from Marvel. Kang is out the building, and this leaves a lot of questions. Is Marvel gonna keep Kang? Are they gonna move on to another big bad? But there's been reports, but these reports came like as soon as Marvel released him, and
it was only like an hour. I want to say like an hour after.
Yeah, of Kang not even being the big bad anymore. The Kang Dynasty from the fifth Avengers movie is completely, the title's gone. It's not long. It's no longer called Kang Dynasty.
Well, they said they're gonna call it. I don't think it's gonna stick. I think they'll eventually come up with a new title, but it said it's changed.
It's just a placeholder.
Yeah.
It's like what they did. It's like what they did with Infinity War when they announced Part 1 and Part 2. It's just a placeholder. It's just.
I mean, I doubt they're gonna go with Avengers 5 because there's never been an Avengers movie with just a number. Because the second one was Age of Ultron and Infinity War and Endgame, so I'm sure it's a placeholder.
And the first Avengers didn't have a number attached to it.
Yeah, because it was the first one. It was just Avengers.
Yeah. So, this is really big news, and I know a lot of Marvel comic readers and fanboys. They always talk about, oh well, what if Majors does gets fired? Oh, there's these different paths and different villains that can come up to play, and these villains have been rumored for such a long time, and it's going to be interesting to see how Marvel plays its cards, because Marvel has been doing a lot of stuff lately. A lot of stuff. And now, I know we talked about it in our anticipated movies video that will never see the day of, light of day. Forgot to record audio and video, whole shebang.
We'll get it out eventually.
Yeah, we will.
We pushed it back a little bit.
Yeah. But we talked about Deadpool 3 and how, it's the only MCU film of the entire year next year, and how, a lot of films got pushed back because, the writer's strike, of course, but there's also a bunch of other stuff that happened before the strike even happened. Like, Blade's been going through a bunch of production issues, and directors and scripts have been thrown out the window, and Brave New World has been going through some reshoots, and this is just another wrench thrown to the towards the MCU. So it's going to be very interesting to see how they're able to bounce back from this, because I feel like it's very hard, especially because you know how their movies recently have been kind of really like hot and cold, and it's just in Majors he was great as Kang, there's no question, and he's gonna be dearly missed. I mean, guilty or not guilty, we're again not gonna get into that, but it's just it's a really big loss because he's a very good actor, and it's going to be hard to move on without him. So even I pose this question because it's a question that needs to be answered. Even if that report of Kang just being moved on from and they're picking a new villain, would you recast Kang, or would you come up with a newer villain or someone to replace Kang? Because, you know, there's been rumors of Doctor Doom, there's been rumors of Galactus, but I feel like Galactus is, like, way down the line. So Doctor Doom is probably the biggest option right now if they were to replace Kang.
Yeah. So I'll say what I think Marvel's going to do is they're going to replace Kang, as in there's going to be a new big bad villain that the movies are leading up to. Because, I mean, Kang, he was in Loki. He was in Ant-Man 3. I don't think, correct me if I'm wrong, I don't think Jonathan Majors as Kang was in anything else, right? Besides Loki and Ant-Man 3. So it was still kind of early in the process as far as him making appearances. So I don't. It's possible for them to just recast, but what I think Marvel will do is they'll go with a Doctor Doom, or it could be if it's Galactus, because I know, wasn't it like last year that a report came out that like the big villain that was going to end the whole entire MCU was Galactus.
Yeah, like so, Phase 9 down the line or something like that.
Maybe they kind of shorten the whole plan and they kind of push up Galactus if they don't go with Doctor Doom. So I think the MCU is going to just pick a new villain. What I would do is I would just recast Kang. That's what I would do.
Yeah.
Because I don't know. I think as good as Jonathan Majors was, I think it might be easier to just find a really good actor to replace him, rather than having to like reshuffle. If they really did. If they really have it planned like years ahead leading up to Kang Dynasty and Secret Wars, then I think it's easier to just replace Jonathan Majors with a really good actor than having to reshuffle everything. And like you said, like it throws a wrench in their plan of what their plan's going to be. And then you got to like, you know, if Galactus is the last villain, you got to maybe move that up. Or if Doctor Doom was just going to be for Fantastic Four, you would have to like, I don't know. If I'm the part of, you know, if I'm Kevin Feige, then I'm just recasting Jonathan Majors. But what I think the MCU is going to do is just find a new villain.
Yeah, like with all the things that they've been dealing with, I just feel like, you know, they should deal with that stuff first. But also at the same time, you know, if they get rid of Kang, that's just like that adds another problem on top of the layers that they're dealing with.
It makes like the Loki show doesn't have as much meaning,
right?
In like the long run, Ant-Man 3 doesn't really mean anything.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you look back and you just see it as like a one-off villain being in one movie, and then you like kind of write it off as he was actually defeated, and how he was defeated was trampled by ants. Yeah, like you said, if they just replace Kang and pick a new villain, it lessens the meaning of the appearances he made in Loki and Ant-Man.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Even if they do recast, there's a selection of, you know, great, you know, black actors out there that they could pick from. I know there was a bunch of John Boyega. You know, like, hey, he kind of looks like Majors a little bit, but I think I saw a tweet where he was like, "Yeah, no, I'm not interested."
Yeah, he's already dealt with Disney. So I
Yeah,
think he got screwed over
he
with
knows.
being Finn in Star Wars. So I think he's just completely over Disney and working with them.
Ray,
Um,
Ray, Ray. Yeah. So we know.
um, and they've MCU they've recast it before. Like clearly not as important of a character, but they did recast Rhodey
Yeah.
with Don Cheadle.
But that was like very early on.
Yeah, yeah.
Kang's been through some big projects.
Mm-hmm.
Even though they weren't that good. But
I still think it's possible to recast him because if this man just imagine if like it was like 2 years later and King Dynasty had just come out and then he was also going to be in Secret Wars or he was going to be in the next Avengers and then all this stuff started coming out. Like we're still, I mean, what the Avengers movie is probably like 2 or 3 years away, so it's still, even though he's been in a few things, it's still early.
yeah.
In the long story of King.
That's fair enough. I mean, yeah, it could have easily been way worse. Like,
Yeah.
they could have been like way into.
And who knows? Because I know this whole process with Jonathan Majors, it's been going on a while. Like this whole entire year, it's been going on.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe Marvel, maybe Kevin Feige, maybe they've been planning behind the scenes of just in case they do end up having to fire him, like they did today. So maybe they planned ahead, and they already have everything planned out of what they're gonna do
Mm-hmm.
to counter this. That happened today.
Yeah, that is a fair point. They could have been thinking way before even his indictment came. With all these rumors and this speculation and videos and police reports, whatever of his assault.
Yeah, like even reports like months ago, reports are coming out that Marvel was just like waiting it out to see what's going to happen with the Jonathan Majors thing.
That's why it was like so quick. Like as soon as like the indictment came out, like boom, immediately Marvel was like, "Yeah, you're gone, dude."
Yeah.
Like it was super quick. Like it was like no like take care of business type thing. So
yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be very interesting.
I just hope, I don't think they will. But please, whatever you do not like do something where you bring back like Thanos or something.
like retconning. Yeah.
Yeah. Like please don't bring back a past villain that's supposed to be dead. I just hope they don't do that.
Yeah. Because there's plenty of franchises that do that, and they don't do it well.
Star Wars.
Yeah, yeah, with Palpatine.
You run out of ideas, so you just bring back Palpatine. Yeah, I hope Marvel doesn't do that. Because that would just really lessen the blow of just the impact of Infinity War and Endgame.
Yeah. Iron Man died for nothing.
Yeah.
So, yeah, this is really big news, and recasting is also, the way I would go. But I love Doctor Doom. I grew up watching the old Fantastic Fours, and I just thought he was the coolest looking motherfucker that ever lived. Even though, the whole premise behind him and how he gets his powers is kind of stupid. We're not going to talk about the most recent one. That Doctor Doom was butt cheek, awful. But I love Doctor Doom because he's just like this like menacing type of character. So I mean, just like what King is. So I wouldn't complain if we get Doctor Doom, but I'd rather wait for Doctor Doom. I'd rather wait it out a little bit and we get him when we're supposed to get him, and we recast King. Now,
like they could very easily like stick to the plan of what you're gonna do, recast him, and then they could write it off as like, oh, it's a different variant. With the whole multiverse going on, they could easily do that.
Yeah, I mean, there's an out right there.
Yeah.
I mean, it writes itself. So, I know Marvel's been kind of up and down, like I said earlier, but I trust them to make the right decision when it comes to either recasting them or picking a Doctor Doom candidate. So it's gonna be interesting to see, what they do, and they've got time. They only have they have Deadpool. That's the only movie coming out next year. So they have time. They can think of something. So it just matters on executing, and hopefully they don't pull Palpatine with Thanos. Hopefully they don't do any other shenanigans, and they just do what they're supposed to do. But yeah, we feel like this was big enough to cover.
Yeah.
Obviously, a lot of people are going to cover it. It's a big topic right now within the superhero community and just the movie community in general. So I don't know if a lot of people are going to see this or not, but it's going to be interesting to see what unfolds. But yeah, so that's what our opinions are on it. If you have opinions, please leave them down below. We would like to start some conversations, and hopefully, this all just smooths itself out, and we get some answers. Not pretty soon, but hopefully within a year. But yeah, that's going to do it for us here at Slash Superheroes. Follow us on our links up top and below. I'm Cameron, this is Jacob, and we'll see y'all on the next Slashers and Superheroes. Bye, y'all.